Hey, man, I'm, who said time is going? Who says so? You are a good student. I love that. Guys, remember we're on air now. Please, yeah. Okay, guys, listen, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being here. Irrespective of the cold, you made it to be here. Some people are still sleeping by now. So it shows me that you are serious. You really want to learn, right? Like I said, we still have some theoretical aspects to cover before I delve into the calculations. I love calculations, man, right? Those days, that was my area. Calculations, when you talk about calculations, then you wake me. Even if I'm sleeping, I'm going to wake up, right? So we're going to come to that. There's a, there's a kind of assessment I'm doing now on the, okay, let me not tell you about that, right? It's a secret stuff. Okay, now today we are going to discuss about the strategies, right? Pricing strategies. Hey man, when you got a business, keki, watch. When you got a business, like I told you, a business environment is very competitive, right? It's like you are in a battlefield, like you are in a war field, right? In the battlefield, I mean, where you fighting war. It's the survivor of the fittest. Have you heard about that in English before, that language? Survivor of the fittest, right? If you are not fit, it's not for faint-hearted people. Faint-hearted people. Business is not for them. Do you understand what I mean? Most especially when it comes to pricing. Younger. If your pricing is not right, you shoot yourself on the foot. I've seen a lot of businesses from my experience. Remember, I told you I've got a lot of experiences because I was in business before. There's no other person that can teach you entrepreneurship more than me because I've been there before. Yes. Huh? It's not recorded. Check. Huh? You say the name of this. Okay. What I'm gonna put is pricing strategies. That's a very good question from a brilliant chap, right? Because now you've got a lot of videos. It's a lot. We got younger, Keki. We've got almost 90 something videos now, right? It's kind of like a swampy environment, swamp with a lot of videos. So you must know the title so that you know what to look for. It's a clever chap. I'm gonna call this one, like I said, pricing strategies. Right. Like I said, you must know how to price your business. Right? How to price your product or service, as the case may be. Do you understand? Because it's very, very competitive. Competitive environment is good for consumers. Joga, keke. Leave that one. I'm gonna deal with that when it comes to that. Keep it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. I know when to collect it. Don't allow that one to distract us. Right? Okay. So what I'm saying is you must be able to charge the right price. I've seen a lot of businesses that liquidated. You know what I mean by liquidation? Business that closed down, insolvent. They were unable to pay their debt because their pricing was not right. So for your business to survive, you must charge the right price. Do you understand what I mean? So you see, like I said, charging the right price is one thing, right? And making sure that your price is competitive is another thing. Competitive in the sense that you might charge the right price, it might not be competitive. Then others gonna take advantage of that and kick you out of the business. Right. So there are certain things you need to do. There are certain strategies that you need to put in place for you to be able to get the market. Because the most essential thing is for you to get the market, right? For your product to sell. Ostensibly, usually. Right. So now one of we said Setting the right price is not about making a profit, it's about making sales. Making sales. It's not necessarily about making profit, it's about you making the sales. Younger, no, please, if that is the case, take your phone. Please, you are disturbing me now. Right? Making sales. It's not about making profit. Right. Remember, I told you about the profit margin of ShopRite. Right. The profit margin is little. You know, their strategy. Hello. Yeah. It's not a lot. It's about 1.5%. Right. For example, now, if you got a quotation for you to supply any product or service, you wouldn't put 1.5%. 1.5% is too little. Right. For example, when I'm making quotation, I put 40%, 50%. Even my wife say put 100%. If we get this deal, we know we get it, then we smile. You see what I mean? 100% profit. You see, you do that because it's not something that is regular. It's once off, perhaps. But when you know you got a large volume, the market is big. You want your turnover to increase your turnover. People coming in to buy, going, coming in to buy, coming in to buy, on and on. You make it very small so that you can be able to entice the market. Do you understand what I mean? Those things are very important. So you need to make sure that you do that. What is the essence of you doing that? Is to boost the sales, not necessarily profit, right? If the sales is boosted, the turnover is boosted, even if it is one rand you are making, multiplied by the number of turnover, you're going to make good money for you. Do you understand what I mean? That is what we are saying here. So, by virtue of that, we say, in other words, there may be price where you charge less, but sell more and therefore earn a bigger profit. Like ShopRite. That strategy is very good. They got a good business model. Mind you, ShopRite don't sell on credit. Do they sell on credit? They don't sell on credit. Have you ever gone to ShopRite to buy something? You say, I'm gonna pay you it should say instrumentally. The cashier gonna say put that in there, right? So they sell on cash. That is why ShopRite these days, they can loan money. They got money to loan now, right? They are going into banking. You look at, yeah, because they got money. So all those kind of stuff. We said price is often used as a strategy or business tactics to achieve numerous objectives. We talk about that. Now the strategies, there is what we call penetration pricing. Penetration. One of the strategies. How does it work? You start a new business. Now you look at the market, very competitive, right? Competitive in the sense that there are a lot of other businesses that are selling similar stuff like yourself, right? Now you look at yourself, how will I be able to get in now? Then you charge very low for you to be able to get into the market, right? Charge very low as long as you are able to cover your costs, right? Charge very little. So that when people come, they look at your product, they look at your competitors' product. Perhaps they compare the quality. They say it's more or less the same. But look at the price. Oh man, wow, this is a good price. Then they say, let me try it. Right? They've tried it. It's the same with others. It works perfectly the same. They come back again, they buy from me, it works the same. They keep on buying. From words of mouth, is, hey man, you see that product? It's the same with that guy. Yeah, I bought it. It's the same, it's nice. Then the market will start opening up for you. How did you get in? You just make your price so below. Now, when you see that they are now buy, you are now getting the market. You start increasing it gradually, till you get to a point where you're gonna be making a good profit. Does it make sense to you? Guys, do you understand it? Hello? Yeah. What? Listen, what is this? You see? Can I tell you something? At times, the devil make us to deceive ourselves. I'm not saying that. I said the devil is the one that is causing this. You are in my class now. I'm teaching something very important. You close your ears. How will you be able to hear what I'm saying? Did you see how tempting the devil is? You must kick the devil. Don't listen to the devil. It's dangerous. Because why are you here? Okay. We said penetration pricing is used when a product is first introduced into the market. In other words, the product has to penetrate the market. To be successful, the new product must be tried by as many people as possible. For this reason, the price is kept very low for the first period of its launch. That is what I explained to you, right? You get it right. The, do you get it right? Sit properly. Right. So the idea behind this strategy is to get into the market quickly and forcefully. Hopefully, yeah. So that is penetration pricing. Arrow. Because you charge very low just for you to be able to get in. Now, once you've got in, then you can size yourself, balance yourself, and then raise up the price. Does it make sense to you? Right. Who doesn't understand? Penetration pricing. Then there's another one which is market related pricing. Right. This strategy is used when there is much competition in the market. If prices are too high, then the market will simply buy the competition. You see, in a situation where you have, again, lot of competitors, right? Now, you're going to look at it. What type of strategy? It depends on the scenario, on the circumstance. You say, okay, let me charge market related prices. I don't want a situation whereby I shoot myself on the foot, right? Let me charge like others. You see, you can use that strategy for you to be able to get your customers as well. So let me just charge. Okay, how much is that guy charging? It's 500. Okay, let me charge more or less 450 or maybe 495 thereabout, market related. You don't bring it down. You just go with the flow. Does it make sense to you? So let's see more what we want. If the price is too low, yes, of course, consumers will believe that there's something wrong. Why you need to use this type of strategy depends on, hello, later, come back to me, right? It depends on the market. For example, what? No, you can't take my cup. Go and get your cup. Right? Right. So, what you need to know is this. There are certain markets, Jonga. There are certain markets, right? People, they got money. It depends on who you are dealing with. The market segmentation. For example, if you got a target market where those people, they got bats. Younger, look at me. These people, they got backs, they got money. Hello, focus. They don't worry about the price. The first one is different than the first scenario. The second scenario could be you are dealing with a specific target market that got money. Right? Now you look at it. If I bring my price so low, they will say perhaps this is a poor quality. When you are dealing with rich people, people that got money, they don't look at the prices. You see what I mean? If you are introducing your business or your product into that type of market, you must be careful. Don't bring your price low. Because once they come, oh, how much is this? The other one is 20 rand. This one is not for me. They will say it's a low quality. Right. Then, what type of pricing strategy can you use to get into that market? Market related. Or something. Market related. Don't use penetration pricing there. Penetration will not work. Don't bring down your price. They will not buy. They will say it's of low quality. Then you use a market related. Charge like others. Does it make sense to you? Are you getting the sense of what I'm saying? Who is not following what I'm saying? Hello, I see you are lost because the way you are looking, You don't look as if you are with us here. Who is lost? Let me see who is lost. Lost is found, right? Okay. Then, guys, listen. We said market related pricing refer the general trend in the market for that particular product and offer. Okay, you use a market related. Who is that? Hello. Then you have another pricing strategy. We call it leader pricing. We call it leader pricing. Sometimes they call it loss leader pricing, right? Where a seller advertises a special price on a particular product, they may not, in fact, even be making. You see, how does it work? Leaders price. This is very strategic. Very strategic. I think the Chinese perhaps they're using this model. You know, I like Chinese business model, right? That is why they are conquering the whole world with their product. When you go to United States, it's full of Chinese product. Americans, they don't even like to buy their own made in US product. They buy Chinese product. When you go to the European market, the same thing. The Europeans, they are abandoning their product to buy Chinese product. When you come to Africa, the same thing. Have you ever start asking yourself, what is so special about it? What type of model that they are using that is making them to penetrate, to fluctuate, to making them to saturate? Let me use that language, saturate the whole market with their product. There is no local product cannot compete with Chinese product. Do you understand what I mean? Look at this thing, younger. If I tell you how much I bought this thing, you will be amazed. The price is ridiculous. I think I paid £5 for this thing, if I'm not mistaken. How can you? It's £5. Did you see? Right. Okay. This loss leader pricing is this. You look at the market environment. Guys, let me do a little bit of reflection, recapitulation, so that you know what we are talking about. I say pricing strategies, right? That is what we are talking about. The first one was what? Penetration pricing, right? The second one was market related. Then the third one is leader. We call it leader pricing or loss leader pricing. What it means is you charge very low. Even if you are running at a loss, you don't worry. You don't worry. You want to make sure that you got the deal. You are able to sell your product. At least people are able to recognize your product. People are able to know about your product. Do you understand what I mean? You just want to create a kind of awareness. Let me explain to you how the Chinese is using this model. Listen, you know Chinese. The government, the government is very business oriented, right? In China, as I heard, if you want to start a business, perhaps you want to manufacture, because they're the manufacturer, right? Then the government gonna ask you, where are you going to sell this product? Is it within the country or outside the country? In most cases, you say outside, right? They got what they call export processing zone, just like you have in Atlantis. You know, we have similar stuff here, right? You have a processing zone there. This what they call economic zone. I forgot the name we call it here, right? You got similar stuff, but here is not well managed like the Chinese, right? Then they will ask you where you gonna sell this stuff. You say outside. They say. Then they got this zone, economic export economic zone, something of that nature. Then you set up the business there. Then there all the facilities are subsidized, which means part of your production cost is subsidized, which is cost of sales, if you can put it like that. Right. So when your cost of sales is subsidized, the government is paying part of it, you can afford to charge a lower price somewhere. So that is why when they export their product, their prices are relatively cheaper because part of the cost is being borne by the government. Do you understand? So they can use this type of strategy, loss leader price. You will think they are not getting, they might be losing, but they know in future they're gonna get the market. Right. Then We say variation prices. This price of a product may change depending on the season. Variation prices. Variation. Right. Are you cool? Okay. Variation pricing. Right? Variations is something that can change. Yes. Good call. I like that. I like your contribution. Right. It depends on, for example, when it is summer, right? When you know that the things that people need at that season. Okay, let's put it this way. Demand and supply. You know what we mean by demand and supply? Right. When the demand of a product is high, younger, if you are a supplier, right, you can push up the price. You know, when the demand is high, younger, when the demand is high, you know what I mean by demand? People coming to ask of a product. And if that product is not there, or let's say the supply is constant, the price is going to go up. And yourself, you can afford to charge whatever you want to charge because the demand is high. Right? But when the season comes down, what is going to happen? You're going to be forced to discount. Nobody going to tell you to discount. Otherwise, you're going to be sleeping with your product there. Nobody going to buy. Do you understand? So you can use a kind of a variation, right? Based on season for you to be able to determine the type of price that you can charge. I remember there was a time when it was off-season avocado. I bought one avocado, 20 rand. 20 rand, one avocado. One small avocado, it was not even a big size. So, 20, right? But when it is season, what happens to the price? I was in Eastern Cape, by the way. There was a guy that came to me, say he wants to give me 6 avocados, big avocados like this. Asked me how much he was asking from me. He said, I'm just buying a bottle of beer. A bottle of beer. I must pay for a bottle of beer for him. He's gonna give me 6 big avocados. I said, but this could have been a very good deal. But unfortunately, I don't buy beer for somebody. You see what I mean? Then he said, okay. I said, but the avocado, I need avocado because I like eating avocado at home. Then he said, okay, I'm going to give you one free. He gave me one. I brought it home. Very nice. I was eating it during the weekend. I told my wife, I said, this avocado is very nice. You know. So something of that. You need to vary. Ask us. Oh, to could have given him the money for the beer. No, the thing is that I don't like buying beer for someone. Huh? No, because he has told me he wants to use the money for beer. So even if I've got, I won't give it to him. If he has said, give me 25 rand, because a bottle of beer there is 25 rand. So I could have given it to him. Even there, my in-laws, they were asking me, buy beer for me. I said, I don't buy beer. You know what I did? I gave my wife money. I said, I don't know, whatever you like, you use with it for them. But for me to go and buy the beer, I don't buy. But you take the money. I don't drink. And I don't promote that habit of someone drinking. You see, if you want to get something from me, say, give me this, I'm gonna give. But if you tell me you want to use it to buy drink or smoke, I'm not gonna give to you. You see? All right. So, guys, well, how many minutes remaining? Huh? Almost. Okay. So, guys, okay, okay, let's try to recap. Let's try to recap now. Guys, this thing is very important. What we've done now, right? We've done the pricing strategy, right? So we talked about how many we say one, penetration, two, what? Market related, loss leader pricing, and variation. It's very important, right? So you can even apply it at home when you got something to say. You look at the market because most of you here, hello, you can even start up running your business now. You know, I used to have a student those days from my entrepreneurship class. The student had a business and she was making good money. She was doing construction business. She was getting tenders, you know. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you must first of all complete your NCV level 4 before you start a business. You can start now, right? Run your business like, where is that girl that is doing the pedicure and manicure? Okay, you see. So she's at least she's doing something, you know. So that is the thing. From here, you can be able to understand, know how to price. You look at the market, how the market is, before you decide on the price that you need to set. Before you set your price, let me put it that way. So it's gonna help you. Like I said, there are some target market that got money. People that got money, you don't give them the cheap stuff. Even if the something is of good quality, even if your product or your service is of good quality, but you don't charge good price, they will not patronize you. You see what I mean? Yeah. Because personally, I've experienced something of such, right? Rendering, providing services for people. You charge very low. They say you don't know what you are doing. They say you don't know what you are doing. You see? So they like people that can charge good money, and they believe that pricing, high price is synonymous with quality. And of course, in some instances, it's true. You see what I mean? Because you cannot render a quality service with peanut pricing, because the cost of your production is going to be high, right? So how are you going to offset it? Do you understand? Like one lady I was trying to assist the other day, say how much. Then she asked me how much you gonna pay me an hour. I said, pay me 500 rand an hour. You see? I said, yes. I want it, 500 rand, because I'm going to render quality service. Did you see? Then they will be happy to pay people that like quality. But when you come, you say, pay me 150 rand an hour. And yourself, once you get the job, and the job is something that is tedious in the sense that, let's say, something difficult, because you price cheaply, you will not be motivated to do the job. You see? So once you've charged a good price and that person gives you that job, no matter how difficult it is, you get motivated. You look at the money, say, I don't want to lose this money. Then you will be motivated to do whatever you can to make sure that the job is done. You see what I mean? So it's very important. Pricing strategy is very important for the growth and survival of a business. Otherwise, your business is not gonna survive. It's not gonna grow. You see, if you don't know how to play around with the strategy. Right. Ask us. Guess. Maybe I'm not getting you right now. Can you rephrase what your question? Gas time. Gas to cook. I think me, I don't know how much, but it depends on the. You see, they got different sizes. Yeah. It went up. Yeah. Yeah, it has to go up. You know what is happening in the world now, man. It has to go up. You see, the war is still there. Yeah. The Strait of Hormuz is still there, still trouble there. The Americans are stuck there now. They got stuck there. They thought that Iran is a country you can walk over. You see, Iran is it's a tedious, it's a difficult country that you cannot walk over. Iran is not Venezuela, where you can just go and remove the president from the throne. The Arab, Iran, they've been planning for this war for over 50 years. So what we need to do is to pray, right? We must keep on praying. Otherwise, this thing can degenerate to third world war. And third world war is dangerous. You see, because Americans now they are trying to woo other allies to join them. You see, besides, if those allies join, then Iran gonna, because Iran is having a kind of deal, it's a kind of bilateral agreement accord with Russia, with China. So if other European countries join US, then China join Iran, and Russia join Iran, it's a world war. You see? So we must just start praying, because where the situation is now is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Look at what they call it, fertilizer. There is no fertilizer, because they say 20% of the world for production of fertilizer is passing through that place. So if there is no fertilizer, because this is going to have a very long-term effect, the impact is going to be grievous in the long run. Because if there is no fertilizer, because you are not farmers, that is why you are not feeling it. The farmers got no fertilizer. So if there is no fertilizer to plant, where are we going to get the food to eat? You see? So it's dangerous. Only God, we pray God to resolve this problem. The period is over. Yeah. Okay, guys. Yeah.